Hey everybody, Dual666 here. Finally back for another update. Let me get this started like I used to do. Cheers everybody. On the screen over here we have The Uncanny from 1977, and the lower screen 1944 is The Uninvited. Fun stuff. Let's get right into it, guys. First one here we have is American Conjuring. This one came out in 2016. This is some dollar store trash, really. This was actually a little bit better than I was gonna figure, but you know, it is what it is. It's not really that good, but you know, check it out if you must. Next up, we have something I had been sitting on for quite a while. This is a Malcolm McDowell starring role, Garden of Evil. I know it's called something else, but I can't remember what it was. I believe this is from 2001, but it might be earlier. Garden of Evil, this was pretty damn good. Very unique film. Definitely, you know, only checked it out because I love Malcolm McDowell so much, but it turned out to be pretty damn good overall. So I wasn't exactly seeking it out, and I just happened to come across this spotless little copy, so there it is. Next one we have here, I think I got this at Big Lots one of the last times I was working with The Perfect Being and I was in Vegas. Macabre by Accelerator Films, I think, put this out. This is The Human Race from 2012. This was pretty fun. It talks some, you know, smack on the back of the box, says makes Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead look like Sesame Street. And that is absolutely not true, but there's definitely lots of good, you know, gory, fun stuff like that in this film, so check it out. It is what it is. The Human Race was cool. Alright. This is more cutesy, family-oriented sort of stuff. This is Monster Family. Me and the wife watched this a few weeks back. This was pretty fun for what it was. I never get my hopes up for something like this, so when I, you know, it just had the charm. It was perfectly fine, you know, fun time. Next up, we have A Single Shot. This was a pretty gritty, you know, slow burny sort of thing. There was definitely some brutality, lots of suspense. A Single Shot from 2013. Yeah, not horror really, but like a damn good action drama. Just, oh man, very, very tense film. I liked it a lot. A Single Shot is definitely worth checking out. Alright, then we have something produced, I believe, by Eli Roth, a film by Guillermo Amoedo, I believe that's how you pronounce it. This is The Stranger from good lord, why do I keep saying 19? It's 2015. This is a Scream Factory DVD, so I always tend to pick these up, you know, especially if I see IFC Midnight on there as well, so, you know, had to check it out. This is a really, really unconventional but really badass vampire flick, and I'm definitely going to have to give it a few more goes. This movie was pretty damn killer, but I definitely want to watch it a few more times. It definitely kind of threw me for a loop at some parts, so, I mean, I would definitely recommend, though. The Stranger kicked ass. Okay. Got a Universal one here. This one is from 2013 as well. This is The Awakening. This didn't really pack the punch like I wanted it to. It was pretty good, but, you know, just can't really live up to most of the other Universal releases, I feel, that came out around this time. Still, you know, this is one of the last purchases I got at one of my favorite record shops ever that closed down recently, Record Alley, so, you know, happy to support them and add this to the collection. This one here is from 2004. It's kind of like a weird creature feature, good cop, bad cop sort of movie. Cold and Dark. Interesting creature, like one of the main characters becomes like a creature, and I don't know, the pacing's a little weird, the effects are definitely lacking, the acting is kind of lacking in my opinion. It does have like a late 90s sort of appeal to it, even though it's from like early 2000s, but yeah, I liked it well enough, you know, it gave me some nostalgia from that era, but other than that, I wasn't seeking it out, and, you know, it's just here. Okay. We've got A Haunting in Georgia. This is from that show, A Haunting, from like Discovery Channel. This is like a full-length full-length episode, like a whole movie's worth of one story. And, you know, it's typical A Haunting Fair, very, very much the same as the like 30-minute episodes of the show. I like that quite a bit. It's very nostalgic for me as well, so had to pick it up. If that's not what you're into, you know, move it along. Here's something that I had been putting off for a while because I just, you know, wasn't super interested in it, but it turned out to be pretty damn good. We have Brightburn. This came out pretty recently. This came out in 2019, I believe. Anti-hero kind of movie. A lot creepier than I would have ever imagined. A lot more brutal than I would have ever imagined. And yeah, they take kind of like the Superman aspect of the comic book character and kind of flip it on its head, make it an anti-hero film, and yeah, I really enjoyed it, you know, for what it was. So, Brightburn, check that out. All right, we're gonna get into some Blu-rays, guys. First one we have here is Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. This has got to be my least favorite Tim Burton film ever. I gave this another shot recently after I found this really cheap Blu-ray, and man, it's so lacking in comparison to all of his other films. I feel like it just drags on, and I just don't really care, I guess. It's just not really for me. You know, you can see that a lot of money went into this film, but I don't know. I don't know how it was received, but I feel like it's definitely a flop. So tread lightly, but you know, if you're a huge Tim Burton fan, I'm sure you won't mind it. Okay, next one we have here is Annabelle Comes Home. This was pretty good. Me and the wife watched this recently. We were trying to go through the entire series, and then we didn't end up watching the last movie, of course. We'll watch it eventually, though. Anyways, Annabelle Comes Home. I don't feel like this is the best Annabelle film by a pretty far margin. I feel like the first Annabelle film was definitely the best one, but I don't, you know, think it was a bad film. It just as the series goes along, it's definitely, you know, it's kind of losing its luster. So there it is. Happy to own it. I'm a completist, you guys know. So Annabelle Comes Home. All right. Got a few upgrades here that I found for like $1 each. First one here is the 25th anniversary edition of Cujo on Blu-ray. Who put this out? Republic Pictures and distributed the Lionsgate. Yeah, this is the Lionsgate release. Haven't even dug into this yet. Lots more special features than my DVD has, though, so I'm really, you know, interested to check this out. Cujo's classic, of course. Not my favorite Stephen King film, but definitely gonna rewatch. Check this Blu-ray out soon. So cool to have that. Next, we have Robocop from '87. Yeah, not the remake. This is the original. I don't own the original on like a singular edition DVD, only on like a pack, and I don't think there's very many extras with that DVD that I have, so getting this is really cool. There's not really, this is a really early Blu-ray too, so there's not really a ton on here either, but the picture quality will definitely be an upgrade, so I'm definitely excited to at least check that out. So Robocop. Alright, then we've got Inglorious Bastards. I know it's not, you know, really horror, but gotta have it. Tarantino puts it out. I typically pick it up. This is a combo pack. I'm gonna put the sleeve down so I can just show you guys. I even got that intact in there. It's not a 2-disc thing so much as it is just a combo pack, 1 Blu-ray, 1 DVD. The same special features on both discs, I believe. Inglorious Bastards is obviously a super classic film at this point. I love it to death. I can't watch it enough. And I guess, you know, I was pretty content with my DVD for a while, but there's so much extra stuff on this Blu-ray release I'm really excited to dig into. So, yep, Inglorious Bastards. Had to upgrade when I saw it. A lot of Blu-rays in comparison this time to most times that I do this. First up, for this next this duo of like Alone with the Killer sort of movies, we have Alone. This is like, it was okay. I was expecting more from it, really, but you know, it's not a bad Magnolia Pictures, whatever, release. It's just, I feel like I was really in for a slow burn, and it was for some parts, but I don't know, the pacing was just kind of off for me, kind of kept losing me, but overall it was a really good film, so I would definitely check it out still. Like, you know, if it's Magnet, I'm typically pretty forgiving anyways, so there's that. Then we have Becky from Quiver Distribution. When I shared that I had watched this online, people had reached out to me saying thank you for watching our film and talking about it. And so I don't know who put this out or, you know, what kind of budget this had behind it, but it was really, really good, actually. Becky from 2020. This was pretty damn good. I liked it a lot better than Alone. Had a lot more style going on for it, in my opinion. Just worked a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, it was a brutal flick with some pretty decent comic relief. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Definitely going to have to give Becky another try. Give it another viewing, rather. Alright, we got another steelbook here. This is the Mothra steelbook that just came out recently. Tons of bonus features and stuff on it, so had to upgrade. I only have Mothra in a multi-pack on DVD, so really cool to finally get the singular edition of it, and such a sick singular edition of it at that. Alright. I kind of was like sleeping on this one, I guess. When I threw this on and, you know, said something about it on Instagram, a bunch of people like asked me had I seen it before, and I was like, no, of course not. Usually anything I post, you know, is the first time I've watched it. So this was Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson from 2014, and I was not ready for what I was about to witness. This movie was absolutely fucking bonkers. Extremely, extremely unsettling and strange, and yeah, all around just very out there. Extremely unique concept, executed perfectly, I think. Man, I honestly need to give this a few more watches because it was just so good, and I kind of blew my mind and then I forgot about it. I think I kind of repressed it a little bit. So definitely gonna have to check out Under the Skin again. Damn, I need something to drink or something. All right. Next up we have Vestron Videos, the Collector's Series edition of the Wraith. This is not something that I knew about beforehand, and I'm really surprised by that, but I guess it just hasn't had that very many releases, and I don't know, I'd never heard of it before. I've randomly found it at Walmart recently. This is definitely one of the more expensive releases that I've bought, and I don't buy very many things like brand new. Like I said, most anything I buy is usually secondhand and very, very, very cheap. But this was a sick little 80s flick, you know, it's PG-13, but you've got Charlie Sheen up in there, and Randy Quaid, Sherilyn Fenn. This is about as cliche 80s as it gets, which is like, it won my heart immediately for that. But definitely going to have to give it some repeated viewings, build some memories and vibes with it, because the nostalgia factor, while the 80s does invoke that for me too, because I'm a very early 90s baby, and I feel like they were still shaking that culture off when I was born. It just, I don't know, it didn't grip me like most 80s films do, so definitely going to have to build a relationship with this film, give it a few more tries, show it some more love, put some miles on it. The Wraith. Alright, back into some DVDs, guys. Next is a double pack. It's a Tom Hanks double pack. I really bought it for the Burbs, which I did not have before, and I still want to get that on a singular edition. I know that that's not really horror in itself, and the Money Pit is definitely not horror at all. But the Money Pit, I feel, was actually better than the Burbs, so it's a cool little pack, I guess. I'm still going to put it in the horror collection because of the Burbs and its horror sort of tropes that it has, but yeah, I didn't picture liking the other non-horror movie more. Alright, got a long, big pack here. I think they're listed on the discs. But it's this 12-pack of films, monster movie mix. It's like half sci-fi, half classic horror. And I'm just going to read what comes on it. It is just one disc. So it's The Corpse Vanishes, Night Fright, which I did not have, Killers from Space, which I did not have, Destination Space, which I did not have, The Passage Beyond, which I did not have, Blunder, which I did not have. Most of that, if it's not a classic horror movie, like Night Fright, I believe is a classic horror movie, and that was awesome to get that finally. But a lot of this is just like episodes of classic sci-fi, like TV shows and stuff. So it's not really the name of it, it's just like the name of the episode or something. But, you know, Verdict from Space, Johnny Jupiter, Captain Zero, Flash Gordon, Return of the Androids. That's pretty much it for the sci-fi. And then you have Tales of Frankenstein, which was pretty fucking cool. Also just kind of like a TV show thing. And then the hour-long adaptation of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I forget which year that comes out, and it doesn't say on here, but very interesting pack. You know, I tend to scoop this stuff up more than not because it's so cheap, and it gives me an excuse to, like, you know, revisit a bunch of films that I've had for years that I didn't necessarily have a reason to rewatch. But when they come on something like this, I like to watch the entire thing, just revisit everything. But good pack for $1 for sure. Then we have Scooby-Doo's Spookiest Tales. I used to have the VHS of this classic Scooby-Doo, like the original Scooby-Doo, and then definitely some 70s episodes on here as well. But I really enjoyed all that sort of stuff, so can't get much more classic cartoon than this. Just thought I'd throw it in there. Not necessarily horror, but, you know, horror adjacent. We have Population 436 with Jeremy Sisto and Fred Durst. This was a lot better than I would have ever figured. My dad, like, rented this from Netflix recently. Like, he still gets the DVDs and stuff. So him and my mom watched it, and, like, they liked it. They liked it so much that they actually had to tell me about it. And then I randomly came across this copy, like, at a pawn shop or something a few weeks back and just scooped it up. And turned out it was actually pretty damn good for what it was. So I would definitely give Population 436 a try. It's not really straightforward horror either, but it's definitely a strange, unsettling film. And I don't know, it's not great or anything, but I liked it well enough. Next up, we have Death Race, the 4-movie collection. This is all the new ones that came out like 2006 and onward. Most of these are really fun. Honestly, they're all really, really fun. The first one is like the best one, obviously, out of all these new remakes. Besides the newest remake that I'm going to show you guys after this pack. But the one with Jason Statham is really good, and then they replace him with somebody else for the second and third films. And those kind of have their own, like, vibe to them, too. I really enjoyed those second and third films. The fourth one, like, it keeps the same sort of concept as those ones, but it changes it, like, a lot, too. It's a very different film from, like, all of the other ones, I'd say. It's definitely the wildest. I feel like Death Race Beyond Anarchy is definitely, like, one of the harder hitting films of the entire franchise, but it was fun to pick this up, finally get to visit all those. Next up, we have Roger Corman's Death Race 2050. And I did indeed watch the original in sequence with all the other ones and this in the same day. Anyways, this one, I don't know, it was kind of underwhelming overall. It started really, really strong, and it's pretty damn funny all the way through, and I feel like that's definitely the point of it more so than the action. This movie is really low budget and stupid, but it is a lot of fun. It just, maybe I kind of hyped it for myself a little too far, and I was just a teensy bit underwhelmed, but still pretty good. Not going to talk too much about this one here. I always pick up any different edition of Night of the Living Dead that I see. My cats, like, they always want in or out. I can never win with them. What are you doing? Come here. Okay, come on. Alright, but anyways, like I was saying, I usually pick up, like, any edition that I find of Night of the Living Dead. And, you know, just found this really, really, really ancient DVD of it. Pretty cool, though. I like to pick up stuff like that, preserve all the editions if I can. At least for some of my favorite films. Needless to say, that film is just beyond classic and like a total masterpiece. Alright, next one we have here is Watch Horror Films, Keep America Strong, A Journey into Creature Features, starring Bob Wilkins, John Stanley, and Bob Shaw. This is a 2-disc documentary about the TV show that would put on like classic sci-fi and horror films. It was called Creature Features, and it aired from 71 to 84. And this is basically just a bunch of interviews concerning, you know, how the show was established and how the change of hosts affected it, and, you know, just the whole legacy of it. And I'd never heard of that show before. It was way before my time, so to learn about it through this documentary was really, really cool. I definitely want to give this another go. there's lots of archival footage and stuff from the show, so that was really, really cool to see. This was just another random record alley purchase on that last day that I got to go shop there, and turned out to be really, really good. All right, last one we have here. This is something that I found at like a video store that was going under like a long time ago, and it looked pretty, you know, lackluster on the cover as far as I'm concerned, because I don't really like possession movies, and that's really all this looks like. The Haunting of Rebecca Verlaine, however, could not be further from a traditional fucking exorcism movie. This movie is batshit fucking crazy, extremely gory. I did not know it was going to be a splatter film. And for that reason, I've chosen it to be the last film in the update because it was just so strong. I really, really enjoyed it. So if you've been putting it off because of the name, it's not like a haunted house exorcism movie. It's so much more. This movie is fucking crazy and definitely worth your time. So check it out, The Haunting of Rebecca Verlaine. Really enjoyed that. And that's going to wrap it up, guys. I'm going to be a lot more active in October. I've been dealing with tons of stuff for getting music out. I know I've been telling you guys that new music for all my bands is coming out soon, but it finally is. Green Terror is finally done in the studio. My band Braineater has reunited. We did a reunion show, and we're currently working on some new releases. And then my band Deceive the Dead is almost done, about ready to release some new tracks as well. So yeah, gonna be, you know, working hard on that stuff, but I definitely want to be more active in October. So until October, you probably see me a couple more times. I'm going to try and get a couple other different videos up before then, but then you'll see me lots in October. So everybody take care. Hope everyone's well, and go watch some horror movies, guys. See ya.